Hi, this is a point of sales management system developed in C#. So let me show you guys how this works. Right here I have the different items that we have in this store. So if you click on Apple, you can always come in there, just enter how many bags of apple you want. Meatballs, click in there. Bacon, so you want 3 of those. Mushroom with 6 packs. Fish, another 6. What about a bag of beans? Maybe 2 of those. Then cheese, 1. And now let's go for some booze. Yeah, you must be alcoholic. Why not? Let's go for wine, maybe 5. Whiskey, maybe 6. You must be having a party, and 4 of those. Let's get some lettuce, maybe to keep in shape. Cucumber, there. Carrot, and so on. Once you select all of your products, all you just need to do is to come right in here to total. Click on total and you get the tax, the subtotal, and the overall total. You also get your receipt here. Okay, so what I'll do now is take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we put one of these together. For your information, you can always maybe click on reset if you want. Click on reset and start the next customer as well. So that's the same procedure. But one good thing about this system is if you do not enter data in there, it default back to 0, just like you're saying. Let's say you mistakenly click this and you didn't enter anything there. You see that goes back to 0. So if you come to cucumber, you can enter whatever you want. You made a mistake here, enter whatever you want. So that is how this system works. So let's go into C# and we put one of these together. And let's start a new project. We click on new project and make sure you select the C# application right there. Select Windows Forms application, give your project a name. So I'm going to call my CS_POS point of sales. Okay, let me just save that. Click on save. There we go. Now our form is ready. Let's define the size of our form. Let's come right in here and make that 1368 by 730. Let's press enter. That is your form. Now let's go to the tools right here. Click on the tools and let's add group box. We have a group box there, and let's drag it that much right down. Get down to about that, and then maybe we need to copy this group box. Let's copy this very group box. Click on Control, drag it across, just extend it that much, and there I need 2 more right inside our very group box. Just copy it, paste it in there. Yeah, that's one here, and another one. Copy that. We extend it first. Yeah, about that, and then copy it right there. Now we need some labels in place. One label here, another one here. Let's change the font size of both labels first. Let's change that to about maybe 18, maybe 20. Okay, that's fine. Copy this label, we need that here. Then we also need buttons. Come right here, add some buttons. We don't need a couple of those buttons. Alright, let's speed that up. total is going to be about 28 of those buttons. Okay, so we need some checkbox here and text box right down here somewhere. Text box there. So we're gonna need a couple of those. So I'll now speed up the whole process and get back to you guys. Okay, my interface is ready now. So the first thing is, let me just talk you guys through. Here I have buttons right here. These are all buttons, and right here we have checkbox. These are all text box. Okay, checkbox, text box as well. Here that's a rich text box. We have labels here, and all of these are labels as well, so you can see their names there. Okay, I had to speed that up, else it's going to take forever. Alright, so the first thing we want to do now is to come right down here where I have my 3 buttons. I'm going to double click on this very exit button, double click on that, and right there let's declare a variable dialog I exit there, and here I exit, say I exit equals my message box dot show. Okay, and whatever I want it to show, I'm gonna have to enter that in there. Okay, now enter that right in a bracket. Okay, confirm if you want to exit. So that's my message for my end user. Then right there enter a comma, and I will then enter POS, point of sales system there, then another comma, and this time around I'm going to enter another message button. This message button is to check if the user will want to exit or not. Then another message dialog, which is message box icon, the method right there. Press enter, maybe question or information. Let's go for question, so enter your semicolon there. Now let's use an if statement. If, let's put that in bracket, I exit, that is it right there, your variable, equals dialog result dot yes. Okay, now enter your curly braces there. If it's yes, application dot exit, and that is it. So those are the lines of code for exit. So if I want to run it now, let's give that a try and see, and we click on the exit button. There we go. So you can always say no, or you can exit. Okay, confirm if you want to exit. See the question mark there? You can even change it. Let's say it's dot exclamation, this one here. The choice is yours, so you can always try those various methods out. Click on that. That's how the exclamation looks like. Okay, so the choice is yours of whatever you want it to be, information. Let's see. Okay, then click on that. There, that's the information one. So now let's go back to the system, or you can just do what you like, so that's fine. So that's how you write your exit. Now let's continue. The next thing we want to do is to be able to clear or reset our component here. So we have to do that here. Double click on reset button, and right here let's enter the following lines of code. But I think maybe we should, let's create some functions here for reset. Just going to enter reset in there. Yeah, I think that'll make life easy instead of having to type out very long lines of codes. So right in here, I'm going to create a function. Let's enter. Let's go for private void. Copy that and paste it right in there. And let's give our reset function a name. So go for reset textbox and enter my parentheses, then my curly bracket. Okay, that is the function that I'll be calling right here. So in that case, all I would need to do is just call that. If I copy it, paste it right in there, enter semicolon, that means I'm calling this very function here. Alright, let's finish up with the function. In that case, let's go for action. What I would like this function to perform is, let's say, control dot controls collection right there. Look at it, look at that's the method. Double click on that and enter your greater than sign. Then let's say function equals nil. Now the next thing is, since we have our method name in place, let's say function equals control. That's just a name for it, controls. Alright, then come out here and just enter equals greater than, enter your curly braces again, and right in there enter for each control, for each control in control, that will be controls now. So I'm actually calling these ones. So for each control in control, so what we want to then do is use an if statement to check if control is text box. Okay, if it's text box, what would you like it to do? Then control as text box dot text equals, let's change whatever we have in there to 0, and let's go for else. That'll be the function right there. Enter control dot controls with an S. Where is it? Yeah, right there. Close that. Then right here we need to enter semicolon there, and here this is supposed to be this controls itself. Enter controls here. Then right underneath here, I'm just let's copy this, come right down there, paste that, and get rid of these ones here, and that should do it. So from here down here, that's the function. It's a very simple lines of codes. Okay, you can always master that. Now I can copy it and change it to whatever I want. So that's the function. So if I run my program now, because I've already called it here, let's run it and see. And supposing I enter whatever value in there, you can see that, guys. You can just click on reset, and there you see that. So that makes life easy for us. Okay, that is fine, but 1, 2, 3 here, since they, and this one, since they are all individual, we don't need to write too much lines of code for those ones. You can just say LBL subtotal dot text equals there, LBL tax dot text equals LBL total the text equals that as well. That's taken care of. Now let's look at the rich text box right there, this very one, dot clear there. So all of those components are taken care of now. Okay, one other thing we need to do is to be able to, let's disable this text box. I'll copy all of this again. Let me copy this and rename it. Come right down here, paste that there. So let's change the name to enable. There, wrong spelling. There, that's the name. So I'm going to call that as well. So enable text box. Let's copy this here, paste it here. So in here, instead of text box, instead of text, I just say dot enable there equals false there. So that is for the enable. So if I run it, that will disable the text box. So let's paste that method in here. All right, there. Now, so if let me run it so that you guys see what I meant by that. Okay, you see, if I click on that, you see all of the text box are all disabled. I intend to use this to enable it. So I might as well just copy this very function here, and let's go to double click on the form load right there, paste that in there. So when I run the program, it will actually disable all of the text box. Can you see that? And we need to do the same thing for these very ones here. So let's come in here and just copy that again. See, it's very effective. So let's copy it, and I just need to change the object to checkbox. So that is, and there, paste that in there. So that is the checkbox, and here instead of text box we will change that to checkbox. You see that, guys? That makes life easy. See, if you are lazy like me, you can just get by this way, right? So let's call this, we call it in here, paste that there, and we will also call it on the form there. So if I run it now, these are all disabled. Look at it, right? The only bit that will enable it will be these ones. Okay, and that's how I want it. So supposing I get one of these, let's come in here, just to try it out. If I double click on this and I ask it to chk apple dot enable equals true there. Okay, so let's run that. That is for Apple. We're gonna have to do the same thing for the rest. Okay, that's it. You see, Apple is now enabled. So when I click on Apple, Apple will enable this. So, and I can disable it with my reset button there. But check, we need to get that right as well. It's still check. So that means we need to do one more thing. So let's copy this again. Copy, and we'll paste it right underneath here. So that was check. So we call that equals checked, right? So that's for checked. Let's say box, checkbox checked. So that will be the name. So here, take all of this off. Dot checked equals false. Right there. So copy this and come right down here, paste it right in here. So if I run it now, there it's checked and there it's unchecked and disabled. Okay, the next thing is I might as well just take care of the rest of these components so that they can be able to activate or enable this checkbox. So what I'll do is, let's come right in here, double click on that and just repeat exactly the same thing. So that will be txt, no it's not txt, sorry, chk arrange dot enable equals true. Alright, there. Okay, so I'll just repeat exactly the same thing to this other one. Double click on, let's double click on this one as well. So that is chk meatballs. There. Now the next one here is meat, chk meat, paste. And then we have chk broccoli. There we go. Okay, now I reckon you guys get the whole idea. I'm just gonna speed that up. Okay, the single line of code to enable the checkbox are completed. Let me just show it to you guys. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is use an event to change the color of the buttons. So let's come in here. You see all of these buttons, I'm going to group them all. Then we have a couple more. Let's increase these 3 buttons and right here, so that when the mouse is over it, it changes color. So let's come into property here, and here make sure you select the event, and the event I intend to use is going to be mouse enter. Right there, mouse enter, and let's give it a name. So I'm going to just call it change color. Just a simple name, change color. Press enter. There, that's the function I intend to use. So let me create an object. I'll call it button b color equals enter button in bracket, and we then going to use the sender enter semicolon. That's the sender right there. Now let's go for the changing of color. So b color dot background color or back color equals, so let's go for color dot light, I think it's light steel blue. Yeah, I like that. There we go. There, that is the color. So once the mouse enter, that's what happens. So I'm going to copy this, but before that, let's come in here and run it so that you guys see what I'm talking about. And there we go. You see that as soon as my mouse enter, you see the light steel color there. Alright, let me close that. Yes, exit. Now let's come back, and in fact, run it. I didn't even run all of these ones so that you guys see how it works. There we go. You see how that works? Alright. Okay, let's close that anyway. Now, make sure all of the buttons are still selected. Now, come back to the property. Now we want to use another event in the mouse leave. Okay, once the mouse leave, I'm going to call it color change. Right there. Press enter. Okay, I'm going to paste the content I copied here. Paste it right in there. But the difference this time is it's going to be color dot from known color, this very one here, known color, enter a bracket and enter known color, this very one, and the known color in this case is control. There we go. Control is the default color. So if I run it now, let's run it, you guys see what I'm talking about. And there we go. Mouse enter, mouse leaves. You see that, guys? And let's do the same thing here. Can you see that? So with just those two lines of code, that's taken care of. Okay, now you are aware of the fact that when I click on any of the buttons, that enables this, and when I click on this very button, I would like this to enable this. So let's play around with that now. Okay, we end this and let's go straight into the code. Double click on the checkbox for Apple, and right in there we're going to use an if statement. If chk apple dot checked, let's compare it, equals is to compare, equals true. Then right here we have a curly bracket there, and we enter txt apple dot enable equals true, and txt apple dot text equals empty. Then we set focus. Yeah, that is that, and there. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to repeat the same thing for the rest of the components. So which means if I copy this, I can always come in here. So let's click on right here, click on the meatballs, and just change all of these to meatballs. So instead of doing it individually, I'll just speed it up and I will then get back to you guys. And that is that for the meatballs taken care of. Alright, so let's speed that up now. Okay, we finished with this, the coding for the checkbox. So let me show it all to you guys. There we go. Those are the coding for the checkbox. So what's happening is if any of the checkbox equals true, then the text box become enabled and clear the content in there, and focus is set on any of the text box, else the opposite will take precedent. So that is it right here. See? Okay, so let's run it. It's just exactly the same lines of code. There we go. If I click on this beacon there, you see that, then I can enter something in there. Okay, but there's another problem. You see, I can enter characters in there that should be allowed. Right, so I should only be able to enter just numbers in there. So we have to take care of that now. So to take care of that, we're going to select all of this text box. Let's select it all, take it up and bring it right down. I'll select these ones as well. I don't want the group box. Alright, so let's come to the property and just look for, that should be key press, right? Let's say numbers only. Numbers only. Okay, double click on that, and right in here, that is the function declared for it. Just enter as follows. That's it for numbers only. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's run it and see. There, if you enable any of them and you try to enter character, no, but you guys will be able to see it. Let me get the keyboard out. Okay, right there we have the keyboard now, so let's try it again. That's impossible. We must enter just numbers. Okay, so if we click on there, let's move this very near. Okay, you see that, guys? But I cannot enter anything but numbers. Impossible. It has to be numbers. Okay, so that's fine. So that's taken care of. Alright, so close that. We don't need that anymore. So the next thing we should do now is okay, the next thing is to ensure that the sales assistant do not mistakenly leave any of the text box unattended. So for example, just mistakenly go to the next text box and do nothing about the one up there or the one below or whatever. So what we will do in that case is we have to create something to do with mouse move or something. So let's come in here, let's close that, and let's group all of those. I'm going to group all of this and the form, and now make sure the form itself is selected. Come in here. So the event will be mouse move or mouse over. That's it. So mouse over. So let's double click on that. There, right in here. I will then enter the following lines of codes. So if txt apple dot text equals nothing, then I would like it to default itself back. Txt apple dot text, make that 0 in there. Okay, then this one should be equals. Then I want the chk apple dot checked equals false, and let's disable it as well. Dot enable equals false. Okay, let's disable this text box as well, because there's nothing in there anyway. Let's enable equals false right there. So let me show you what will happen in this case. If I run it now, come in here, enter some value in there, and in here there's nothing in there, and mistakenly just move away. You see that the system default back. Alright, once you leave it empty, the system will immediately default back, because you have to make some kind of movement. Okay, So that is that done. I'm going to repeat the same thing, just speed that up for the rest. Okay guys, we've completed the coding for that, so let me just show you to you guys. It's the same lines of codes anyway. So you take it to the top, it's all the same lines of codes. Alright guys, so let me just run the program for you guys to see now, so you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's run it. So that's the function used, and that's the rest of the codes. Alright, let's run it, then you see it. So if I select an apple and just move away from there, not intentionally, come in here, and you see that defaulted back to 0 automatically. Alright, so let's start work on the total. So I'm going to close that, and right here let's double click on total. I think we should declare global variable first. Let's come up here and right there let's declare as follows. Let's get a double just to create an array. Item cost, let's make that an array really. Yeah, item cost equals new double and let's go for about 30, maybe 32 or maybe 31. Let's go for 31. That's my array there. Then declare the following double variables as well. Double I tax, comma, I subtotal, and finally I total. Alright, so those are that's the array and that's the variables that I'll be using. So now let's come back inside this total here, double click on it right there, and the first thing now I want to do is item cost array number 0, let's say equals convert dot to double, and what I want it to convert to double will be apple dot text, whatever content is inside apple dot text. Okay, and let me multiply that by, say, the price of the apple is 1.5, and just the entire semicolon there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, that is for apple. I think I should do something here. Let's declare a local variable for my tax. Let's call that tax rate. Alright, let's say equals 0.51. Yeah, that's supposed to be my tax rate, right? Be using that later on. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this across and change the content in there. So the next one is going to be array number 1. I'll change this to orange. Right, and the price of orange, maybe we should change that to about 8.7 there. Okay, now I presume you get the idea, so I'm just going to sort of like speed that up. Can copy. We're gonna need about 28 of those. just change it as I go along. Alright guys, so those are all the price entered into the array individually. So let's take it down so that you can see the rest. Now we need to add all of these together. So what I would do then is I'm going to still use one of these arrays to do that. So right underneath here, let's enter an array. I'm going to call that 28 anyway. Copy this to add up everything. Item cost 28 equals item cost number 1. So that's 0 here. So the next one will be 0, really 1. I mean. So first thing first, let me just copy this, make life easy for me. Copy, this is 1 then, and that will be 2. Three, 4 there, 5. Let's make one more 6. So that you guys can see it all. That's 5 and 6 here. Okay. Alright, I've just speed it up. So the next thing I want to do now is let's come right down here and group everything inside subtotal. Subtotal equals this very one here. Paste that in there, plus 29 plus 30 and plus 31. So that's my subtotal there. So the next thing now, let's assign everything here into the subtotal. Let's say LBL subtotal tabs equals convert dot to string. There's the S dot to string subtotal there. So we have that in there. Okay, that's fine. So all of these added up is inside the subtotal. Alright, the next thing is let's get itags that is up there. Itags, let's say equals subtotal itself. I subtotal. Let's multiply that by tax rate, and then we divide that by 100 to get our tax. Okay, so what else shall we do? Alright, let's say LBL tax itself here dot tax equals, let's convert that to string, convert to string the tax there, and just change this one to tax. Alright, that is the tax rates assigned in here. Then iTotal, these variables that I'm using are actually up there. Those are the global variable that I declared earlier, equals this very one. That's it. Get rid of that. That's supposed to be itags. there. So that's for total. Now we need to now assign the total. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy all of this and change it around. Paste that in here and then get rid of this. That's it. Everything is now inside total. But one other thing we need to do is let's convert it all to pound sign. So let's get this, paste it there. I'm gonna need that to subtotal as well. Then that of total. Okay, so we need to just convert all of this to pound sign. Now come up here and just string dot format. Okay, and what we are formatting will be, just enter that in here. That is 0C. Let's put that in quotes here, comma, I tax. That's the very first one taken care of. So I can just copy this, paste it here and here, change this one to subtotal. There. And this one becomes subtotal plus that. Okay, now I can just say total. Where is the total? Do I have total? Yes, I do. I don't have to say subtotal plus. Okay, total takes care of that right there. Okay, so let's see now. Just a quick look. Let's see. Right, that's everything. Now we're now going to run it and see the global variable here. Okay, I've increased this to 32, so let's run it and see. Right, select fish, enter how many you want, apple, how many apples, and let's go for something here. There, let's go for some wine. That's whiskey. Let's go for rum. Let's go for wine. Let's go for 3 of those. Got fish already. Brussels sprouts. There. Smoked ham. Broccoli. 2. What about orange? And now let's check this out if it works. Right there, guys. You see that? That's working out expected. So the next thing I want to do now is to be able to see my receipt here. So let's see if reset works. Yeah, reset works as well. That is fine. Okay, so let's come down here to total, because when you click on your total you should get your receipt as well. So right here, those are the lines of code for the total. Come right down. Come right underneath here. Let's get the name. That's RTF. So we say dot append text. Yeah. And let's enter. Let's get it centered. So say backslash. Okay. Now here. Let's say plus. We now need. I'm going to call it I sharp. Alright, then say plus environment dot new line. Yeah, so that one is like carried return. That's fine. Okay, so let's maybe try that out and see how it's going to look first. Select something and just click rearrange word color. Okay, let's click on OK. All right, that's good. That's good. So let's see, clear. Brilliant. Now let's continue with the receipt. So the rest of the receipt, I'm just going to now enter as follows. Maybe even speed it up. Okay, this is how my receipt looks like now. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's have a look at the final code inside the total. That's it right here, and the receipt is there as well. Yeah, so let's run it. Good. Apple, 5 doors, orange, 3 lettuce, carrot, and let's go for fish. That's smoked fish, and now we want fish. Another one bag of rice. We want one of those. Beans, maybe one as well. Just click on total right there, guys. And that's how you develop your own point of sales management system. Suppose you enjoyed the tutorial, so you all have a nice day now. Bye for now.